You're watching NFL Daily. I am your host, Tom Downey. Let's dive into some rumors around the NFL. Plenty of trade discussion going on as we get closer to the start of the NFL offseason as well. Let's go to Deshaun Watson here. A couple different notes here. The Panthers, this is what we'll focus on to start. They are apparently plotting a run at Deshaun Watson, which I think makes perfect sense. They have some assets. They're out there clearing salary caps, which by the way, all teams are going to do when you see a team restructure a deal to make some more cap space. Every team's going to do that this year. That's not unique to, they're going to do something big. They just got to get money to get under the cap even. Carolina, however, despite their obvious connection to Deshaun Watson from a local perspective, Carolina, Clemson, you guys get it. They are not the only team interested. And at least for now, the Texans continue to not want to listen, or at least publicly say, or leak, I should say, that they're going to listen to trade calls. It makes sense that other teams have interest in Deshaun Watson, Carolina being among them, Broncos, Dolphins, also we'll get to them in a second here. Deshaun Watson, the top 10, top 5, top whatever you want to make him quarterback. You don't find those guys potentially readily available very often on the open market. So for a team like Carolina, who I like Teddy Bridgewater, he's not Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson's better. Deshaun Watson is a significant upgrade over Teddy Bridgewater. So the interest from Carolina makes plenty of sense. There was also a recent report that the Miami Dolphins expect to be in the mix for Deshaun. Now, being able to build a package around 2 and number 3 pick is strong, and Dolphins fans, I know you get tired of this, but it continues to pop out around the NFL, and it's worth updating and discussing here. The team is not out on tour. Like that's not where Miami is at. Going after a quarterback for Miami only makes sense if it's Deshaun Watson. This is a proven top 10 quarterback who hypothetically is available on the open market. What Peter King did in his most recent article for Pro Football Talk, put together a whole bunch of different trade ideas. Some I hated, some I'm like, okay, it's interesting. This was the Miami Dolphins one. Dolphins, of course, well, they get Deshaun Watson, right? Duh. The Texans get Tua Tagovailoa, a 2021 first-round pick, number 3 overall this year, a 2023 first-round pick, plus 2 second-round picks in 2021 and 2022. Christian Wilkins also, by the way, the promising young defensive lineman, goes over to Houston in this deal as well. So who says no to this particular trade? Type D for the Dolphins or type in T for the Texans. It's a weird trade with the way the picks ended up going. In the end, if you can get Deshaun Watson, if you're Miami, as much as I really like Christian Wilkins going forward, I could take Christian Barmore in round 1 this year. Maybe you can convince Houston to be like, hey, take our other first and we'll keep Wilkins. I think you have to consider that if you're Miami. But get your votes in here. D for the Dolphins, T for the Texans. Let's go to Denver's side of things now here. They've been linked plenty to a Deshaun Watson trade. Something producer Sam, our resident Broncos fan, would love to see happen. However, there is also a report from John McClain, who is the Texans beat writer, says it's guaranteed the Broncos are not going to land him in a trade. But if you're Denver, and if he is available, you got to pick up the phone and call. Now, where things get complicated for the Broncos side of it, and why McClain says the deal will not happen, is that they're picking behind teams like even the Carolina Panthers, behind the Miami Dolphins, behind the New York Jets. So those first-round picks, their best asset, that first rounder, significantly lower than other teams out there. So in the end, if I'm Denver, I'm calling. I also don't anticipate Denver being able to land him in a trade this offseason. So make your predictions there. And you can still go Houston here as well. Where will Deshaun Watson play in 2021? Is it Houston? Is it the Dolphins, Panthers, Broncos, somewhere else? Get your votes in the comments section. To Sam Darnold now here with a report from out of New York, that the Carson Wentz trade's not going to impact Sam Darnold's trade value. The Wentz situation is different. The Jets are going to go through their quarterback evaluations of the young guys coming out, the Fields, Wilsons, and Lances, and then make a decision. With the report saying that Darnold's trade value is a second-round pick and maybe something late on top of that as well. I am very curious to see if that ends up happening, because the guy we've seen over his NFL career, only evaluating a player based on that, isn't worth remotely a first-round pick. And this is not worth a second-round pick either. I would rather have Jameis Winston based only on 2020. Now, there are, of course, some extenuating circumstances, right? The Jets organization has been in a pretty rough spot. They've been really lacking talent on both sides, but especially on offense. Darnold has not been put in a position to succeed. So if the Jets decide, yes, we're going to go quarterback at number 2, be it Zach Wilson, be it Trey Lance, be it Justin Fields, Darnold's gone. So what I want you guys to do now is answer this question. What round pick is Sam Darnold worth? Is it a 1? Is it a 2? Is it some combination of a 3 and a 4? This question is the pinned comment on today's video. So if you get the ad break here on YouTube, scroll on down and get your votes in. Over to J.J. Watt now, the latest on the current free agent. He can sign at any point since he's been released. The report from Tom Silverstein, one of the Packers beat writers, says Packers not going to land J.J. Watt. That yes, they've been restructuring money, but they're also over the cap. He's going to be too expensive for them in the end. The Browns, however, are one team we know that is in the mix right now as it relates to J.J. Watt. And Watt said he wants to take some time. He said he made the joke that he has a tough time ordering from DoorDash, so give him some, not a sponsor, DoorDash. Give him some time to make the pick his next NFL team, right? Watt's going to command plenty of interest. There really is plenty of time for Watt to make his decision. He probably wants to know before NFL free agency starts, but there's no tampering allowed right now except for players like J.J. Watt who are current free agents. So make your predictions here. As I see Tim Luke already says J.J. Watt to the Bills is his prediction. Where will Watt play in 2021? Make your predictions for me in the comments section. While you guys are down there, double check, make sure you are subscribed. We're not going anywhere during NFL free agency. We're going to be live plenty, including once things get going in mid-March. So if you want to stay on everything going on around the NFL, hit that big red button and subscribe today. Let's chat Miami Dolphins now, and a very weird and very unusual story involving Xavien Howard. And we'll stay on these two player cards for a while because there's a lot to break down. So background here, if you don't know, which I'm sure many of you don't, Howard's former agent, Demarius Bilbo, had his house shot up back in June of last year. Now, as it turns out, Howard was named in the police report. If you're wondering, why didn't this come out? Well, the police report did misspell his name and spelled it Xavien Howard, and hence some confusion there. The police have asked to speak with Howard about the incident, and so far he's refused. Now, Pro Football Talk brought this up over the weekend, trying to make the connection. As near as I can tell, based on reports coming out of Miami, like for example from the Miami Herald, there's not a whole lot going on here that we know of right now that directly ties Howard to anything. The Dolphins apparently were aware of the incident. It was an associate of Howard who was connected to the car. It was his car that was identified by police leaving the scene once it happened. Howard's agent, by the way, says he was not involved. Again, also per the Miami Herald, the police interviewed a man by the name of Ryan Bray Gibson, who they spoke to him in August, and since then, apparently the police can't find him anymore. So the guy they spoke to, did not charge, is missing. A lot going on here. Again, Howard is not suspected to have been to be inside the vehicle at all. I think at some level, there's really not much going on here. It is at least somewhat concerning when the name pops up in a police report. But then again, I remember when Lael Collins was connected to a murder. He didn't do anything wrong, but was connected like the day before the draft. Ended up going undrafted because of it, because there was just uncertainty there. So, again, I don't think there's anything really going on here with Howard, because he stuck around with the agent for months afterward. It's not like the agent thought he did it. It's just his name was connected. Apparently knew one of the guys. Worth mentioning. Again, I don't want to read way too much in this. I want to bring it up and discuss it, but as near as I can tell, Howard hasn't done anything wrong, and that's exactly, by the way, what his lawyer said as well. If you guys want a new NFL hat, we got you guys covered. They are on sale up to 40% off. Chatsports.com/NFL hats. They've got them for all 32 NFL teams in a ton of different styles and colors and even some throwback logos mixed in there as well. So if you want a new NFL and save up to 40% off in the process, head over to chatsports.com/NFL hats. We will put that link, by the way, in the comments and in the description. So all you guys have to do is click and go shop. It's available at chatsports.com/NFL hats. Let's talk Devonta Smith now and his comments about Mac Jones and Tua, which might cause some concern for Dolphins fans out there, though I personally think it's being a bit overblown. So here's what allegedly was said by Devonta Smith at the Senior Bowl. He was asked, Mac Jones or Tua? And Smith allegedly, quickly and confidently said he likes Mac Jones. Now, obviously, Devonta Smith heavily linked to Miami at number 3 overall. They have Tua as their starting quarterback right now. So fair or not, this could lead to at least some speculation about potential issues between Tua and Devonta Smith. But you know what? I wouldn't have expected Devonta Smith to answer this any other way. A, he's at the Senior Bowl with Mac Jones, and B, Mac Jones was the quarterback when he won the Heisman. Now, I like Tua more. I think most of us do as well. But look at the production numbers. The targets skyrocketed with Devonta Smith because Mac Jones, the offense was throw it to Devonta Smith. He'll be open. Yes, if I were Devonta Smith, I would probably pick the quarterback I won the Heisman with, even if he's not as good of a prospect as Tua was. I'm not going to read anything into this. It's not like Devonta Smith and Tua hate each other. That's not what's going on here. This is just the answer allegedly by Devonta Smith. If he goes to Miami and it was with Tua, he's going to be pumped. There's nothing to really read too far into that one. What I want you guys to do here is pick a quarterback for me. All right, is it Mac Jones? Type in MJ. Is it Tua? Type in TT. I go Tua, and yeah, the production from Mac Jones was impressive. Let's not forget the offensive line and ground game was much better under him. They're both probably going to go in round, or will go in round for Mac Jones. Of course, did go in round 1 for Tua. So get your votes in here. MJ for Mac Jones or TT for Tua. Which quarterback would you guys rather have? Let's go now to the NFL TV right deals, because this matters for every single NFL team. Reports from CNBC are that the NFL is asking the current providers, so CBS, Fox, Disney, and NBC, to double their current cost of the TV rights. That would lead to about a doubling of the salary cap. It would be a massive, major jump. Disney, by the way, owner of ESPN/ABC, the Monday Night Football package, is currently pushing back against that particular idea. Now, just to put in perspective how ridiculously expensive this is, the current TV deals right now, ESPN for Monday Night Football paying annually $1.9 billion. Fox, $1.2 billion. Or 1.1. CBS, $1 billion. NBC, $160 million. That's annually, by the way. And the NFL wants to make this a 10-year deal. So you double that times 10, you guys can do math. That's a lot of money. And this is why NFL players and agents being smart are like, yeah, we want shorter-term deals so that once this TV money comes in, we can double dip and cash in on an ever-growing salary cap. And why smarter teams are like, yes, we'll restructure deals this year and push money down the road when the salary cap goes way up. And why the NFL, by the way, should go with a flat cap in 2020. Because if the millionaires and the owners and the billionaires can't afford a $10 million raise in the salary cap, oh, we got a whole different conversation there. So if I'm the NFL, I know that money's coming. I'm keeping that salary cap nice and high.